Hello.
Hello, or should we say Gesundheit?
Fuck off. Just fuck off. We're gonna take a thing from Lille to Clermont, and it's gonna cost us. It's gonna cost us. We're gonna net us 18 and well, just over 18 grand. So let's do
View
that.
the lovely countryside of France.
Yep. Uh, and all the shit bits as well. We're not actually using our truck, just to be clear.
Is a rent? Oh shit! Is this a rented one?
This is one that they provide for us to do the job with. And the reason we're doing that is because actually we're probably better off using these trucks as well, get more money out of them.
Mm.
Buying a truck was a mistake. We should have got saved the money to hire a person and upgrade our garage, hire a person, and get them doing jobs with our truck. So because you won't let me take out a loan, which is
Well, I
fine.
mean,
It's fine. It's
do
fine.
you do you want? I just think.
This is a joint business endeavour.
Okay, well, I'm mostly just sitting in the cab
That's fine. You're
in my
the
mind,
you're the person who we
doing
put this.
nothing.
You're the person who we put
Thing.
the.
Sorry.
Go on.
Come on.
Do your
Thing
thing.
awkward.
Do your thing. Whatever your thing is, do your thing.
Sure, okay, I'll do my thing. It'll be quick. I was just gonna say that I'm probably sitting awkwardly listening to the German music while you're off having sex with prostitutes. Your go.
You're the person who has the second taco card, which if we put in, avoids us having any infringements. I can drive for much longer than I'm supposed to if I keep putting your taco card in when mine's run out. That's
What's
right.
taco card?
It's the industry regulated driver ID card thing that you use to track times driving.
Am I the one who holds the bottle while you pee in it?
No, I'm capable of doing that myself. You only
Well,
need
why do you
one
ask me
hand
to
to
do it?
drive. Because I thought you'd want to do something productive for once instead of sitting there on your ass doing fuck all.
You need both hands to drive. You should have one at 11 o'clock and one at 2 o'clock.
It's 10 and 2, you dipshit.
I don't know, I don't drive.
No, the key thing is that you should have full control of the vehicle at all times. You don't necessarily have to have two hands on a wheel at all times, because if you did have two hands on a wheel at all times, how would you change gear?
With your feet. Or I'd do it.
I would. There's not a chance in hell I'll let you change gear.
Okay.
Not a chance in hell,
Probably for the best, not gonna lie.
honestly. No, but you need to use your other hand. In our vehicles, where we are right-hand drive, you need to use your left hand for things like the gear stick. So it's not a matter of having both hands on a wheel at all times. I very often drive down the road with one hand on the wheel, as like a
That's
standard. I just
Mary, is your child in the car while you do this?
you having not been in the car with me, you won't necessarily know that it's actually fine. It's not an issue because we're only going 20, 30 miles an hour anyway. So even if there is an incident, it's going to be a very minor one. And
You
also
have crashed before, haven't
with I wasn't going 20, 30 miles an hour at that point. I was going quite a bit faster than that, 50
you?
I think it was.
Oh,
So the situation was different, and also it was on a corner which I was taking with both hands. So at the moment I'm one for one with two-handed driving.
hmm.
But no, the like because of all the gear changes that you need to do living in areas that we live in and drive around in,
Hmm.
you might as well just get used to having your hand on the gear stick all the time. So I do. I basically have a hand on the gear stick all the time. So only if there's a major like steering situation, which is not something that happens all that often because you know what? Funny enough, I'm actually, bar the one incident, I'm actually quite good at this driving thing most of the time.
Come on. Jolly good. I'm glad to hear it.
And there was no legal action, and only four people died. So it's
Well,
not
yeah.
like
Those 8-year-olds had it coming.
I know, but you should have heard the things they were saying on Fortnite. Anywho, now that we've
No, they do
joked about me murdering people by accident with a vehicular homicide,
Yeah,
I'll
that living room of theirs was in your way, wasn't it? When you drove through their window. That's all I've got. Please continue.
Well, I was hopeful we'd pick another topic,
Oh,
one that
okay.
wasn't vehicular homicide.
Young people, fair enough. Well, well, is he well? Fuck. Um, there's been a death.
There's probably been quite a few.
Hear about this? Hear about this death?
Well, I don't know unless you give me more fucking detail.
Um, William Russell,
No, didn't hear about it.
who played the first Doctor Who companion, Ian, in Doctor Who, and most recently appeared in that last Jodie Whittaker episode in the former companion support group, which incidentally marks the longest distance between two performances by the same actor in a thing. He died.
In anything
sad.
ever?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It was like what, 60 years?
right, yeah, no, but just surprised that it was, you know, Doctor Who that did it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I mean, it's been running since 1963.
No, fair point. We need to make good time on this journey. So yeah, he died, did he?
Corey could probably manage it as well if it wanted to. But yes. And yeah, very sad. Two things. His son played Dean in the Harry Potter films.
Dean Brown.
Yeah. And I saw it may have been satire, this thing I saw on Reddit, but somebody argued that Chris Chibnall had deliberately murdered him, and arguing that Chibnall hates the classic era of Doctor Who because he retconned William Hartnell being the first Doctor, and that his appearance in the Chibnall special was during the height of COVID, which it wasn't, and that William, or what's his chap? What's William Russell?
That's what you were talking about, yeah.
Terribly for 3 years and then died, which isn't true. But they claimed that Chibnall knew exactly what he was doing.
Much like how Liz Truss killed the Queen, yes?
Yes, we all agree.
One of those arguments has merit, the other does not.
Yes, well, it's a matter of historical fact that Liz Truss murdered the Queen Elizabeth.
I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it? But Queen Elizabeth II survived so much stuff, including World War II, probably countless assassination attempts that we may or may not have heard about. Because, I mean, she's going to have been a target for him, isn't she? You know.
Yeah.
She survived the allegations against Prince Andrew. She survived the Diana scandal and follow-up incident and all that kind of crap. And she got killed by Liz Truss, the most bumbling, incompetent buffoon of a prime minister we've had since Boris Johnson. Oh wait, hang on a minute.
Since the last one.
Since literally the prior one.
Yes.
Question. Are you sure that it's William Russell's son played Dean Brown?
Yes.
That's quite a big age gap there, isn't it? I'm thinking.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I mean, respect to him, because, you know, fair enough, but...
What, but having sex with a younger woman?
Well, not, we don't specify that it's a younger woman.
Crude point you're making.
I'm just, you know, it's nice to know that grown-ups have adult sex lives, which is a weird thing for me to say, considering that we're both 30. And I have a sex life.
Yes.
I mean, you know. I don't know what's going on in your sex life, so... we both like to keep it that way.
He was 64 when he had Dean Thomas.
That's a respectable age.
Yeah. And his wife at the time, Ethelene Margaret Lewis.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a Barbadian Brazilian doctor.
Really?
They were in a movie together called Executive Order
I have heard of that movie.
in 2020.
Hmm. The Oh, fair enough.
So yeah, quite something.
Oh, I wouldn't be having kids at that age. I'll tell you that much. I won't be having more kids now. So
No, no, not even if he could afford it.
one is plenty.
Well, that's lovely.
Nothing wrong with the one, but I would not handle more. Imagine for a moment, if you will, that I had had a second one prior to all the shithousery that took place.
Well, you could have one each, couldn't you?
Oh yeah, because that's how that would have worked out.
Yeah.
I would have had two to deal with, and not by myself, but basically by myself, and it would have been
yeah.
it would have been a fucking nightmare. One was hard.
Yeah.
Two would have probably tipped me over the edge. I'm not saying I'd have killed myself, just to be clear, but
No.
what little sanity I have managed to cling on to over the years since,
Yeah.
I feel would probably have. Oh, this is a toll road. Does this mean that we can drive whatever speed we want?
Did I get my pennies?
No, because it's being paid for by the company that we're doing the job for.
That's handy. That's handy.
Get away! I've got priority. There's an American truck sim.
Is there really?
Yeah, which you could.
That sounds interesting.
I mean, it's no more interesting than this one. At least we understand the geography of this one. Although, in all fairness, we can't see any of the bloody place because it's night time. Can we crack up to 90? If we do, are we likely to overtake, or are we going to be stuck behind these two lorries? We could probably undertake, which would be a very risky manoeuvre, and you'd get scared in the passenger side.
I would. See if you can screw through that gap.
This gap.
You Potter.
Well, I'll tell you what, we actually got a smaller fine for doing that than we did for the speeding earlier. It was about a third of the size.
Well,
but the speed limit changed so quickly when you get into a toll booth. It's very difficult to get it right.
would you like your connections round?
Oh, I suppose we probably ought to.
No, I'm gonna level with you. You won't get this.
Okay, fair
So
enough.
I'm gonna give you some clues right up front. And it's less about getting it than it is just about going through it and discussing it. This was a list that was published in GQ magazine.
Oh, I'm very familiar with that publication.
It's the most blank things of a certain year, which will probably go a good way to helping you get it. And there's quite a few of them.
The most basic bitches of 1994.
Yes,
Hang on a minute.
on the list, weirdly enough. Even though I was just a baby.
Yep, but they knew. They knew.
Gender ambiguity.
Okay.
The prefix cyber.
Okay.
Poetry slams.
Okay.
Bill Gates electro-fitted a bunker home. There's a lot of really weird ones.
These are the most something of a particular year.
The most something things of a certain year.
Are these going to be the most Googled things of a particular year? Okay.
No. Good guess. Absolutely Fabulous. That's a TV show. Raconteur Cabbies. Being the host city of the Olympic Games. And Martin Amis.
Okay, give me some more.
Alumni of the Harvard Lampoon. Upscale Pacqueuris. I can't say this word. Pacqueuris.
That doesn't help me.
Upscale. What is that?
Type it to me, because then I might actually be able to read it rather than trying to piece it together whilst you.
Well, I'll Google it and we'll find out what it means. I'll just tell you that.
Oh, I suppose that works.
taco restaurant.
A taco restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay, are we sure that contextually that's what that means?
Yeah, upscale taqueries.
Okay.
The genius of Brian Wilson and Fiesta Ware.
Was this 2016?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Um,
So I think that's the year that he might not be Brian Wilson, but I feel like that might be the year he died. Did Brian
is
Wilson
he the
die?
Beach Boys?
I think so. Unless it was a different person in the Beach Boys that
I
died.
think I know who you mean, and I think I vaguely remember him dying. Did you write a post about it or something?
Probably.
I can't remember.
But I've written a post about all sorts of things. So.
Local colour. Wood-burning pizza ovens.
Yeah.
Field trips to see Peter and the Wolf. And anything called a Summerfest.
Okay. Is that the end of the list, or?
No, there's more. I can keep going for a good old while.
No, no. I'm the most annoying things of 2022.
No.
What decade is the year in?
I'm not giving you that.
I'm just asking for the decade.
Yeah, but then you can just burn through them, can't you?
I'm not going to just burn through them. I'm just trying
the
to.
90s.
The
1990s.
Okay. Thank you.
Um,
So 91.
Agassi versus Sampras.
Oh. Okay, so are these the most watched televised things of the year?
What, wood-burning pizza ovens?
You never know.
No. There's a whole variety of stuff here. CNBC talk shows.
Okay.
The prefix Uber. And town meeting style interfaces with elected officials.
What was the first one? It was a sport one. Sampras and who?
Agassi versus Sampras.
Because that's obviously that's tennis, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think when that was. Because I'm not a massive tennis person, but I do know some tennis. I mean, I knew enough to know that it was a tennis thing. Just trying to think. No, I'm not sure.
Okay. Pliny the Elder.
Okay.
Montana. I know, it's a fucking weird list, man. I would be very doubtful if you get this. I've given you a good few clues, so you might, and we've got plenty to go through. So, Montana-based writers, designer lesbianism, and designer Buddhism.
So it's the most iconic things of a particular year.
No.
Okay.
The large intestine.
So iconic.
Morphing. Mangoes. Appearing at a public function unwashed and on the arm of Juliette Lewis.
Okay.
I
have no idea who Juliette Lewis is.
No, I'm sure she's an actress. I've only yeah. So keep going.
Yeah, you might as well.
The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms. Every Broadway musical since Evita. Digitized family albums. Cruise Control. Middle relief pitching.
The most 90s things of 1990.
No. Heather Locklear's galvanizing effect on Melrose Place.
Okay.
Duets. Anyone dubbed the sexiest man alive. Striped bass. And quick cutting.
Okay. Go on.
Zines.
Is that
Jennifer Jason.
hang on, is that ZINES?
ZINES.
That's zines, as in magazines.
Zines. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not up to date with my 90s abbreviations. Yeah, Zines. Zines?
Zines, yeah, for magazines.
Jennifer Jason Lee's Range. Virtual reality. Heavily choreographed concerts at which the featured performer wears a headset, microphone, and is backed by 35 dancers.
Okay, is this the most talked about?
No, I'll give you a clue. It's not a positive thing.
Ah, most disliked.
No, no. Sex on the beach. Sex that lasts 4 hours. Rowing crew.
4 hours.
Michael.
4 hours is
Yeah.
nothing. That's a light night. That is.
Michael Graves. Youthful World Weariness. Reggie Miller. And Telling It Like It Is.
Most overdone.
You're very close. Not overdone, but
Overrepresented, overused, overrated.
overrate. Oh yeah, very good. We got there in the end.
Okay, so now I just need to get my year.
Yes. Dessert wines. Whit Stillman. Any British woman described as a beauty. The Baseball Hall of Fame. Feisty backbenchers. Homeschooling. 1968.
Hang on a minute.
What?
1968 is one of the most overrated things of one of the.
The large intestine, for fuck's sake.
Fair point, but still.
I only chose this because it stood out to me so much when I saw it on a Reddit.
I happen to know that Melrose Place ran from 92.
Okay.
So that rules out 90, 91, and probably 92. Not a guarantee on 92, but
I can say you've ruled out 2 ones that it isn't. So you're right to rule those out.
okay. I've ruled out 2 that it can't possibly be because Melrose Place didn't exist. I know that Sampras and Agassi competed. I'm sure it was 95. They had a particularly big competition, but maybe it would be overrated if they didn't have a particularly big contest against one another. It'd make more sense for it to be overrated if it was built up to be a big thing and it wasn't. I'm leaning towards 95 at the moment.
Okay. The signed editorials in the New York Times. Demi Moore's body, which is a bit rude, very 90s. Jay Leno's comeback. Manufacturer rebates. Hootie and the Blowfish. Or You Can Eat Shrimp. Comic books. The smell of fresh cut grass. None of those have really given you anything, have they?
No.
Instantaneous.
I'm just trying to think.
No, the Olympic one was probably a pretty good hint if you can remember. I mean, GQ is American, I imagine. So, do you know what years America, the US, hosted the Olympics?
No. I mean, I know what years the Olympics were hosted, but if they would have been 92 and 96. So, it's going to be one of those 2 years based on that.
Well, maybe.
I'm going to go 92.
No.
Is it 96?
No.
But what's the fucking point of the Olympic thing? How is the Olympics relevant unless it's just Winter Olympics?
If you combine that with the Agassi Sampras thing, you've got it. If you just use that to push you over the line on one of your thoughts.
Go on.
Okay. Instantaneous Wall Street jokes about national tragedies, which probably references a news story that was quite big at the time, which I think I'd quite like to know more about. Driving a 4x4 on gravel, amusement parks, Corinthian leather, longevity, gay stand-up, having a, quote, funny back page.
97.
No.
95.
Yes.
I did say 95 earlier, and you didn't. You moved on.
Yeah, but you didn't lock it in.
I'd said 95, and then you carried on giving me some more.
Well, look, well done. I'm going to give you that. So there's a few more. Alan Greenspan, Bjork, Beaujolais Nouveau. Beaujolais Nouveau, yeah. Lisa Marie Presley's looks, bit rude. Converting to Islam. Melissa Etheridge. Muhammad Ali by the looks of it.
No, it could well be both. Cat Stevens.
Martin
bit of a
Lawrence. Calculatedly casual film dialogue about the. See, this is a picture of a magazine, and it's by the fold.
Sears.
About the arcade
It doesn't
of
matter.
70s pop culture. Violent action movies from Hong Kong, shaved heads, the White Power Ranger, Pat Riley, lattes.
Is how are you spelling it?
It's the coffee. Lattes.
It's a latte.
Lattes.
I do not know how to say latte.
I don't know. I don't drink coffee.
There are people who will pronounce it latte, but they are idiots.
Homespun American Wisdom, Pitt the Younger, Rainforest, Vine Ripened Tomatoes, Righteousness About Ticketmasters, and Christo.
Why the fuck was anyone thinking about Pitt the Younger in 1995?
I don't know. Pliny the Elder, The Large Intestine, and I think there was some more that really stood out to me that I just thought, this is a weird fucking list.
Whoever compiled it is an idiot.
A weird list.
Whoever compiled it is an idiot.
Yeah. There was a lot of talk about gut health at the time.
Wow. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So a very strange, just a very strange time. Very strange time.
To think we were alive.
Mm.
Why would the Olympic hosting the Olympics be on there if it wasn't the year that they hosted the Olympics? It doesn't make any sense.
They found out the year before, didn't they?
They found out what the year before?
Well, they found out they were hosting, presumably the year before, a few years before, and there would have been a mad rush about it.
We found out
talking about it constantly.
We found out about hosting the 2012 Olympics back in late 2005.
Well, there was a mad rush to complete stuff. One imagines.
They either got 6 or 7 years notice, right? Realistically, based on when these things actually get decided. So, I'm not entirely convinced that that's the. Maybe in retrospect, they realised that hosting the Olympics is less of a big deal than it was, but it just seems an odd thing for it to be on a list of things from that year if it hasn't happened that year, you know?
Well, I think of that. Well, was the immediate run up to it.
No, it wasn't, was it?
It was. They're setting everything up. This is the end of 1995. Presumably, this article came out, and it was the Summer Olympics, so it was like July, August time.
No, I don't know. I'm not sold on the logic of the piece. I mean, it's flawed in many ways, but
well, I think it's justified.
You know what is definitely one of the most overrated things of '95, don't you?
What?
GQ magazine.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh man, can you imagine if this game had destructible physics? So like you could
I think that would
slam
have
through
been so bad.
Slam through a building with your truck, just like in Teardown. That's a game that's quite fun if you enjoy bank heists and stuff.
Yeah.
You get various tools to help you steal the thing you need to steal, and you gotta do it all within a time limit. Normally, after you set an alarm off, you've only got a minute to do everything and get out.
What game is this?
Teardown.
Ah.
I would play it, but it's quite a stressful game as well. It's fun, but stressful. And it's not. You haven't always got a time limit. Sometimes it's one of them was get these things to such a location, but it's a very difficult way of getting. It's very difficult to get across there because you don't want to set alarms off, and you don't want to other stuff.
Yeah. 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 Yep. Yippoo.
There was one where if you had to throw some cars into into the sea, right?
Mhm.
But if any of them got wet, the timer started, and it was raining.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it was a matter of trying to find some way of getting them near the sea without.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Hmm.
Spoken like a man who has so few fucks to give. You
Yep.
can at least pretend to be enthusiastic about these conversations sometimes.
I am. Well. It doesn't help that you do keep cutting out. But yeah, sorry. So, the, is this the game you showed me?
What game that I showed you?
The game you wanted me to get.
No, it's a
Or you
different game.
offered me.
It's a completely different game. It's called Teardown, not Risk of Rain.
Hmm. Well, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, thanks.
Glad you like it.
Oh no! Oopsie daisy. Oopsie daisy.
It's a lovely day out, isn't it?
Well, you know, it's France, isn't it? It's better than here.
We.
Oh, we are not going to get there on time, that's for sure.
Oh fuck it, they're French. They don't mind.
No, like before we need to rest. We're going to have to rest first. So we'll do it there. What have I done?
Oh. Yeah, I do like Euro Truck Simulator.
Do you really?
It's relaxing watching it with you. You know, it is the sort of thing you can just stick on. You know.
Not that anyone else ever will.
Well, they might. I don't know.
Look at this field of wheat.
Rapeseed oil or something.
No doubt Sting would sing a song about it.
Fields of gold.
It's barley, actually.
Fields of barley. No, it's called Fields of Gold.
It's called Fields of Gold, but then he sings about fields of barley as well.
Which is gold.
The point is, it's barley, isn't it? It's not actually gold.
Would you like another topic?
I've wanted one for a little while, but you were going, and yes, and oh, that's nice. Glad you like it.
Cows.
God, you're just like a manic depressive girlfriend, aren't you? Drive past a field of animals and you have to point out that they exist.
Everybody says cows when they drive past cows.
No, they don't. I don't.
So, Sean Bean's been in the news.
Has he really?
I don't know whether you saw this. He was taking a break from filming the TV series. And he went to a club, I think. And he got in a bit of a tussle with the bouncer because he was vaping indoors.
Oh, well.
The bouncer said, "Please stop vaping indoors." He said, "No, I won't." And so the bouncer had to, there was a little bit of a fisticuffs. So the bouncer had to restrain him.
Lucky Sean Bean.
And he was dragged out. But I read a bit about Sean Bean not too long ago. It was pretty depressing because there was some domestic violence stuff.
But he did.
Yeah. To a former partner. Which wasn't great.
No.
Wasn't great.
He I've been led to believe that he went to school with my aunt for a while.
That he what?
Went to school with my aunt for a while.
Well, did she know him well?
I don't know the full details. I just understand they went to the same school for a while. with, funnily enough, if I understand correctly, our former head teacher as a PE
Oh,
teacher there.
well,
Or I may be mixing up stories there.
yeah, that's. Oh, yeah. I mean, he seemed like a PE teacher, didn't he?
Oh, he definitely had been a PE teacher previously, but whether he was a
Yeah.
PE teacher at that particular school.
Back in the 80s or the 70s or whatever. Probably not
Yeah.
the 70s. How old was he? He probably was the 70s. He was about 50, 60, wasn't
Well, it could be the 70s, 80s.
he? Hmm.
It wouldn't be that unreasonable for someone to have, oh shit, oh, I didn't have done that.
What did you do? You rested? Oh, we're
Arrested-
definitely late.
I rested twice.
Hmm.
We're late.
Very well slept.
We've got 2.5 hours to get there.
We slept in.
We haven't got time to get there, but it's going to take us 2.5 hours. The music's got all dramatic. Can you hear the music? It's dramatic.
Yeah. I can hear the music. Yeah, it is all dramatic, isn't it?
I accidentally pressed enter twice instead of
Hmm.
pressing it once, and god, we're going to be so late. But not. At least it's not perishable goods. It's a pressure tanker.
Oh god, well, that's apt, given that the pressure is now on.
I've never known it to get dramatic music-y before. I've done trips that I've had to do 4 different rest stops for, and I've never had with pressure music. Suddenly the stakes are raised.
You're losing your touch.
I pressed the button twice. That's all it did. I just pressed the wrong button. Dun, dun.
No, you pressed the right button, you just pressed it twice.
Well, no, I should have pressed the W button instead of the enter button the second time
You
round.
silly Billy.
You were silly, Billy. So I'm thinking of giving up the caption stuff.
Oh, why? Yeah, I mean, I should say we have been here before.
Yeah, we have, but I'm really genuinely thinking about it this time. So you know, I put up my my post on my birthday about, look, if you just say that you appreciate these, basically, and if you don't want to do it with words, feel free to send me some cash, right? But I'd rather have the comment. I literally said I'd rather have the comments.
Yeah. Did you get any?
Considering I have 17,000 people following me on that subreddit,
Oh, Jordan.
how many people do you think commented?
0.
4.
Oh, Jordan.
4 out of 17,000 possibles.
Oh, Jordan.
And if they don't have the time or decency to fucking... then why do I bother?
Yeah, that's why I didn't do that, because I knew I'd get very few responses. They don't care, man. They just want the content.
I you know what? Even if it had just been 10, I think 10 I'd have been like, yeah, that's fine. That's a nice number for. To be fair, the comments I did get were mostly quite nice. One of them was a weird comment, but like 2 of them I think were.
Oh, the weird comment. Go
I,
on,
I,
I'll
I,
hear it.
I can't remember, and I'm not putting it up now because I'm driving. But it
What was
was
the gist of it? Do you remember the gist?
it was like trying to understand what I was actually asking, which is like, well, it should be fairly fucking obvious what I'm asking for.
Oh, Jordan.
But the other two of the other ones, they were
Funny.
just wish you'd shut up so I can fucking talk. It'd be nice.
Sorry,
You know?
go on.
No, it doesn't. Go on, pick another topic. Move on.
No.
No.
Hear.
I don't want to talk about it anymore. So let's fucking move on. Come on.
Well, I okay, I'm sorry. I do think you deserve better.
Yes, but I'm stuck with you, aren't I? So.
Well, look, I wasn't even laughing at you. I just feel for you when situations like that happen.
Yeah, well.
Because I think you put a lot of effort into it.
I have,
And,
and
I know.
you know,
I know you have been very impressive in the way you've dealt with certain customers. Just the fact that you had the decency to give a shit about that one guy who was spending a lot of money, and I think that's worthy of note and worthy of applause.
I don't ask a lot from these people, and they wouldn't even give me that.
I know. I'm sorry.
Well,
But I don't think you should let it dishearten you too much.
the one of the, and I think two of them, but I know for sure one of them mentioned that my own works are an inspiration for theirs.
That's good.
Which, well, I mean, it depends, because I was inspired by other people being shit at them.
Yeah.
So I'm not
sure
entirely.
That the case.
No, I'm sure that it wasn't how I read it at the time, but it's
No.
worth noting that there is that flip side possibility.
Well, is it possible this post got lost in the deluge? Did you pin it?
No, I didn't pin it, but like, it was the only thing that day, I think. But like, the other stuff around it has had better reaction. I know the other stuff around it has been porn, so I suppose it's going to, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's one of those, again, it's not even like it's had a lot of upvotes, and it's literally the title of it. So even if you don't click on it to read it, the title is "It Is My Birthday."
Yeah, I was gonna ask, did it get many upvotes?
It had 3.
Fuck 'em.
So less people upvoted it overall than commented.
It'll probably be that guy asking what you're on about.
Well, no, because he did send something else afterwards about enjoying the stuff I've done.
Well, that's nice.
But it's, you know, it's,
But look, you get lots of positive comments, don't you? You know, when you complete.
not so much lately. I mean, when I complete a thingy, yeah. Actually, that's a point as well, because here I am thinking about packing it in, right? And there's a bloke who owed me 29 quid. Yeah. And he hadn't paid me, but he was one of the regulars. And I thought, well, it's fine. He'll get around to it when he gets around to it. I'm not that fussed. And if I'm paying it in anyway, it doesn't matter. Today, or rather, early hours this morning, he sends me 60 quid, doesn't he? To pay for them ones and then the next batch as well. And it's like, oh, really? Because now I'm sort of locked into it, or I need to give him his money back. But I'd rather not have to go through the hassle of giving him his money back. So I'm sort of locked into doing another 30 for him.
Yeah, I mean, you have spoken in mixed terms about the whole thing, haven't you? I mean, on the one hand, you're very pleased that it's a popular thing you're good at, and you know people are giving you money for it. But on the other hand, you have expressed some degree of discomfort with a lot of your clients.
Well, not only that, but it's like, of all the things I could be good at and monetize, why has it got to be this fucking thing? So if I give up on that, I say give up on it. If I stop doing that, I mean, I'll probably still do some of it every now and again, right? Just to keep the subreddit alive in case I'd properly change my mind. Yeah. But it's not fun anymore. It stopped being fun.
That's a shame. That's really when you know to quit. I
You
guess.
know, and
even just step away from it for a little bit.
And like, I don't think wanting to hear people say, yes, you're good at this, and yes, we like it, and all that kind of stuff, I don't think that is a lot to ask for, really.
No, it's not.
And 4 people to have commented on it. In fact, we're nearly parked, so I will have a quick shift.
Okay. I'm sorry. You got a bit annoyed earlier. I'm sorry about that. I appreciate.
It's up to 7
Sorry.
now.
Oh, that's good.
But it was 4 like at the time. It's still 4 comments, but it's 7 upvotes.
Well, I'm sorry if I annoyed you before. I appreciate it. Yeah, I can see why you're annoyed by the whole situation. It certainly wasn't my intention to exacerbate that.
No, it was.
I did.
It was only because you'd asked me what comments it were, and then I'm trying to tell you, and you're not letting me fucking tell you. You know, that was what it was. It's fine. It's fine. I'm over it. I'm over it now.
That's okay. See, this is what good friendship is like, viewer/listener. We have problems with one another. We talk about it and we talk it through.
When thingy loads, I'll tell you how many people read it. But it won't tell me on the phone, so I'll have to do it on the computer quick. But we'll park up quick. And then I'll see how long we've actually been going for, because it must be getting on for half the way through, time-wise.
I don't know, but I'm digging this music.
This is the drama music. Do you think we've got time to park it manually?
I don't know.
We're 2.5 hours, nearly 3 hours late. Do you think I mind? There's got to be a...
Oh, they are going to be so mad.
Where do you need it? No. I can do that one. Honestly, we are so late, and it's all because I had a nap. We should have been there by midnight, and it's nearly 5 in the morning.
God.
We are 5
But
hours late.
Probably a small family-run company that's now about to go bankrupt.
What, this small family-run company with this massive warehouse?
Yeah. Just very quickly, do you remember I talked a while ago about the Long Island serial killer who had been caught?
Caught, or they'd identified that there was one?
Well, they had a suspect and there was a lot of DNA evidence, and he's preparing to go to trial.
Oh, okay.
So there was a bail application. They had DNA matches.
Oh.
I mentioned, and they've got docs from his hard drive. He read John Douglas, who was a profiler, his book Mindhunter, and took notes on it and made little things to do better. Quote next time.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Not ideal, is it? Garage manager. What? How much is it going to cost us to upgrade this? 180. It's going to take us ages to end it.
From a perspective, I'd be keen with that, but no, if it's more of a burden than a joy at this point, you must do what works best for you. What would you do if you gave it up? Would you focus on something else instead?
Well, I mean, if I'm trying to make a push on focusing on my mental health, we'll see how that goes first before I commit to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's all the writing I want to do.
Yeah.
Where is it? Sorry, I know this isn't overly interesting to watch at the moment.
No, that's fine.
I'm trying to scroll down to the thing. That one. That one. Oh, and for God's sake, why is everything so difficult to bloody find on this thing? One more. Over 2,500 people actually saw it. As in, opened it up, right? And 4 people commented.
Yeah.
4 people. You know. So yeah.
Well,
I've seen what some of them are into.
Hey.
It's depressing, isn't it? You put all the work in, and what do you get for it? Nada. Right. Do we think that we're going to be able to do this journey?
Well, we're going to the Czech Republic, the very borders of the Czech Republic. We're going to Austria. That'll be nice.
Well, we've got Switzerland into Austria, into Germany, back into Austria, and then to the opposite side of Czech Republic. Or we could do Denmark through Sweden into Finland. I'm just worried about the amount of time it's actually going to take us. Where's this one? That's there to there.
Well, I don't mind. I honestly
Tell you what,
don't.
let's do the Zurich to Ostrava, and we'll just do it, and hopefully we won't have any issues, and it'll because we're about halfway through the time now, you see. And I'm conscious that I don't want to overrun much because I have to work tomorrow.
Are you in the office or at home?
Yeah, I'm in the office sadly. Home today, in the office tomorrow. But then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because some of us work 5 days a week and don't get as much holiday, it seems. Fuck. How do we get out of here? Oh, I've parked in one of these before. Yeah, it's a nightmare. Okay. We've got a digger of some description.
Oh, lovely. Actually, speaking of that...
Speaking of what?
Speaking of diggers...
Yep.
And other heavy machinery, it's the 20th anniversary of the Killdozer incident.
It is, isn't it? I had heard about that.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it, but I think what I read, the guy had a dispute with the city. That sign just gone.
I had a dispute with the city
about when he was shitting in a river, and the city would you probably shouldn't do that. And he responded by building a killdozer, which is a bulldozer that he outfitted. He destroyed several buildings, I think, and ran into the mayor's house, and then he killed himself.
Oh, Jesus, I didn't know about that. That's bit.
And he's a libertarian hero.
Is he in amongst the likes of the bloke who used the hay bales to hide the castle he'd built himself?
I don't know about that one.
There was a bloke who was hiding. He was building a castle, but he had hay bales that he was using to hide it from view. And I think it might have just been a house, but a man's house is his castle and all that nonsense.
And this guy was called Marvin John Heemeyer. Meyer. Yeah, he had a load of grudges. And he demolished the Granby Town Hall, the house of a former mayor, and several other buildings. And then he killed himself after it became stuck in a hardware store he was destroying. Nobody else was killed.
Oh, that's good.
Good.
I suppose if you're going to go on a rampage like that, the least you can do is avoid killing anyone else. I suppose it probably defeats the point of a rampage, doesn't it? If you're gonna do something like that, maybe and you're going to kill yourself, maybe you might as well kill other people.
Yeah.
But it's probably best that you don't.
Well, I don't think it's a good thing.
What, the whole incident, or the killing of other people in the middle of a rampage?
Well, I mean, killing other people in general, best avoided.
Well, I suppose it depends on the circumstances, doesn't it?
It reminds me a little bit of I just had to Google it because I couldn't remember the details. But Harry Collinson, he was a planning officer, the Derwent Side District Council in County Durham. There was a dispute with Albert Dryden, who was a local landowner, over the erection of a dwelling on his rural property without planning permission. I think this went on some time, and a camera crew. It was a whole big thing, and he had a gun, and there was a standoff, and the camera crew were there, and this council officer decided to play the big man and confront the guy on TV. And of course, the guy shot him and killed him.
Oh well.
It was just a very foolish thing to do, to try and make yourself look like the strong law and order figure in front of a man with a gun. The kids never fucking piss about like that.
No.
Always be a coward if somebody else has a gun.
Well, I mean, again, depends on the circumstance. If the person who has a gun is someone who is working with you, and you are not in any danger of a gun, maybe don't be a coward. If you're in the army and everyone's got guns, maybe don't be a coward.
Or if you're a police officer outside a school where children are being shot.
I thought we were going to crash into each other.
Has that ever happened?
I've seen the aftermath of accidents. So I've not seen any actual accidents take place other than the ones that I've been in. Of which there were many. I take it a lot less seriously on this save than I do my own. I'll tell you that much for sure.
Oh, apparently a fuller version of the footage, including a prior visit and the aftermath of the shooting, now forms part of the BBC's internal training course on filming safety.
Oh, really? Oh, at least it wasn't a complete waste of everyone's time, was it? Fucking hell, these corners.
They had previously been friendly.
What,
the council guy and the guy who shot him, the landowner.
Well, I mean, you know, everyone's friendly until guns are involved. I want to play a game where we're meant to shoot each other. You and me. Because it's not something we've done, is it? We've played shooty games before, but we've always been aiming at other targets.
Like a versus thing.
Like a versus thing, yeah.
Well, we'll have to give it some thought and see what we can cook up once we burn through the core of the world.
Yeah, because we can't shoot each other on that, can we? That's a shame.
No.
It would be nice if we could, but Alas, no such luck.
I don't know. We'll think of something. We'll think of something.
You're the tricky one out of the two of us.
I know. I'm sorry.
I know. Do-do-do-do-do. Change the lights, change the lights, change the lights, change the lights. Oh no, it's not going to matter anyway because all the cars are. Oh, look at that. Right on the line.
Lovely stuff.
We can't go anywhere. I've done this junction before actually, quite a few times. I think. Don't make me pull out the killdozer.
Reference.
Yes.
How many topics have you got?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Right, I have 3.
Okay.
Which is sort of worked out. How close are we? Just so I know how to space these.
Not very close
There's
at
a
all.
red light.
I know, because it's going to be... When we started this job, we were halfway through the video.
Oh God, you've messed that up, didn't you?
Well, you were distracting me with talk of shit that you already knew.
Alright.
When we started this job, we were halfway through the video.
Okay, let's have a look.
Apparently Netflix are making a Bioshock movie.
Are they really? I guess
Apparently.
that's because Fallout did alright.
Most likely. Can we squeeze through? Yes, we can. Oh my god, that car's upside down. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see it. I quite like the Bioshock games. All of them. I feel like there is a point where they sort of lose their way in each of them, but they are interesting games. It would be interesting to see if they go Bioshock 1 or Infinite.
Well, Bioshock 1 is the iconic one, isn't it?
Bioshock 1 is the iconic one, yes. I feel like it has got less to it. And of course, I suppose it all depends really on where in the timeline they are planning on doing the story, right?
Well, you just do a Bioshock story.
Well, no, but if you're going to do that, you kind of want to see it when it's not all fucked up, I guess.
Well, that's your opening, I guess.
Well,
you have like a flashback scene. I know there's like recordings and stuff that you can see in there.
you can hear, yeah, because there's audio recordings.
Well, yeah.
No, but it's obviously for a TV show, it would end up being video recordings.
Is it a plane crash or a boat sinking that you're on at the start?
Plane crash.
Yeah, I like it visually, Bioshock.
I think
It's a fun idea.
I like Infinite for visuals more than I like 1 and 2. But it's brighter. It's easier to see it most of the time because it's up in the sky rather than underwater, right? It will be interesting to see how. I mean, obviously they're not going to build a city underwater for the sake of filming it because that'd be absurd. It's the logistical nightmare of it. It's just but it is definitely a piece of intellectual property that would work as a TV show. It would work as a film, to be fair. Sorry, hang on. No, yeah, they're making a film. It would work as a TV show.
Yeah.
I think probably better than as a film.
That's why I was thinking. It seems like, you have far more time with a TV show, of course, so it's probably the better fit for a video game adaptation.
Yeah. But, like I say, it depends what we do. There's a lot to cover. Over 2 hours, which, let's say, is roughly average for a movie these days.
Thereabouts, yeah.
So, there's a lot to cover in that. So, maybe they'd make more than one movie. But if they are going to do that, you might as well make the TV series.
You might as well, yeah. Yeah.
How familiar are you with the Bioshock lore?
Well, is it Andrew Ryan?
It is Andrew Ryan. Yep.
Okay, so there's a. Let me see if I got this right. There's a chap who's in a plane crash. He lands in the sea and there's an island, so he swims towards it. And he finds there's an elevator or a stairway, so he goes down that. And he finds himself in an underwater city, and a whale goes past. And it's a libertarian's wet dream where this guy has decided to get away from the big government and build a city under the sea for like-minded capitalist people. And it's all gone jolly old tits up with some sort of drug, question mark. You've got the little, what is it, it's not little girl, it's like little daughters or something like that, and the big guys. Big brother, big daddy.
They are called Big Daddies and Little Sisters.
Yeah, that's right. And the little sisters have some sort of psychic power because of this serum they've got, and the big daddies protect them.
Yeah.
And it turns out you were just a pawn in a power game or something at the end.
We are, I believe, Andrew Ryan's son.
Oh my god!
It's for big
That's
twist.
convenient. We crashed so close to him.
Well, actually, it's part of the brainwashing that went into us being there in the first place. Is that we were planned to be there. There was a thing that tells us to open a gift at a specific longitude latitude. We caused the plane crash because of the brainwashing that's gone on. Can you remember what the trigger for the brainwashing is?
Oh, it's a phrase, isn't it?
It is a phrase.
You're such a good boy. It's something. I'll know it when I hear it. It's like,
would you kindly?
Oh yes.
Would you kindly pass me that hammer? Would you kindly cause this plane to crash? Would you kindly beat my brains out with a golf club? Would you? And it's funny because if you don't know it's there, you when you get back to it, when you play it again, you can fucking hear it. You hear it all the time. You're always being asked to, would you kindly do this? Would you kindly do that? And it's just it's one of those. If you go into it blind, it is a fantastic fucking reveal. And then the rest of the game after that sort of loses its way because it's no longer this subtle thing with a brilliant twist. It becomes just like a typical action shooter. You know, it's a bit like Spec Ops for Line. Once you know what's going on with it it loses some of the magic.
Well, I
it.
remember watching a video essay about Bioshock a long while ago, and they did mention that, and I do remember they flash back to all the times you were asked, "Would you kindly?" which I think is quite clever. Yeah, Spec Ops: The Line is. Andy Crucial was shocked at his own review for that he actually really liked it. Because it doesn't, do the usual route of those sorts of games where it portrays the Allies as, purely good. I can't remember what I think he says the Americans are like gun-toting fuckboys and the British are shadowy evil bastards. And there's a nuke in it, is there? You get nuked or something? Yeah, there's a bomb. You die horribly.
That's one of the options, yeah. There is I know there's the white phosphorus incident. I should say, yes, it is the opposite when it comes to Spec Ops: The Line, which starts off as your typical action shooter, but actually becomes something much more nuanced when you actually get to the end of it. Yeah, it's the opposite. So, I mean, like I say, I think it could work as a. I'm curious to see who they get in the various roles. The one thing that I wanted to correct you on, story-wise, from what you said, and it's a minor detail. It's a bathysphere. The thing that takes him down into the city.
Oh right, yes.
Yeah, as part of the aesthetic. It's a bathysphere. It's just a ridiculous thing, right? For anyone to have, but I suppose it's set in the 60s anyway, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
And you murder your own father in it. Although it's in a cutscene, so you don't even get a chance to say anything about it.
Yeah. I remember us talking about this before while we were playing Left 4 Dead, and you mentioned "Would you kindly," and you found that scene rather therapeutic. I think you said.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Mm.
Well, I'm after
Right.
therapy. I'm
Right.
trying. I'm trying to get therapy.
Yeah.
Go on, if you've got a topic, go for it.
Yeah, go on. I'm gonna do one of mine because I know you get a little bored during rechef. I'm gonna keep two of the bigger ones for that.
Okay.
Um, well, I'll keep one of the ones I have less to say, but might lead on to a topic that we can both discuss. Um, have you heard the sad news about Coronation Street?
Uh, it's not carrying on, is it?
Hey, hey. No, I think this is the one I thought you probably saw but didn't put because you hadn't forgot to say about it. Um, yes, Helen Worth, who plays a long-running character Gail Platt, is leaving after 50 years.
Jesus.
50 years.
Wow. It's
So
a long old
yeah, she's
while.
quite something, but I don't know. I don't know what her character's long-term legacy will be. To be honest, I mean she's a popular character and she's been at the heart of some big storylines. Um, but I
Was
don't think she's the most interesting. And
was it her? Was it her that threw the jelly at the wall?
that was Deirdre.
Deirdre. Oh, I can't remember what the fake one is because I hadn't even seen it, and I just saw it in a compilation of
Yeah,
ridiculous
she's like
things.
it's the jelly. It's not something supposed to wobble. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
But,
Yeah, different person.
yeah, um, yeah. So she's leaving. So it's a big deal, and at a time when the soap is not being reviewed very well. But look, they go through periods like this, and it'll pick up sooner or later. It's got a lot um, of protection when it comes to rumors of cancellation, just because it's this cultural behemoth,
I
you
think
know.
I think the question that's on my mind at the moment is it going to be a she leaves or is it going to be a she gets killed off?
I don't know. I don't think anybody would want to see Gail die because
One
yeah, I mean
one
she's
to
pop.
is
Well, it depends really what the actress wants. I think she probably has a lot of say in it at this point, having been in it for so long. If she wants to get a nice ending, she probably will get one.
she's no Bette
I
Lynch,
think.
that's for sure.
Oh, look at you
Well,
referencing stuff. You've
referencing
learned.
stuff that I because I pay attention to the things that you make.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
not the tier videos because you know how I feel about tier
Well,
videos.
no, I don't. Yeah, you don't have to. You're under no obligation. That's just filler stuff I put out. Um,
I'm under no
but
obligation to do
yeah,
any of it at this point because you've got a bigger following than I can contribute to.
yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously I'd be very pleased if you did. Um, but you know, but yeah, she's leaving, so a big character. Um, maybe I'll if I can think of an angle, I might put that as one of the next poll options just to cash in on that. Who fucking knows? But
Well,
yeah,
I mean,
it's
she'll have left by the time you finish the video, so
almost certainly. Been in it since 1974. It's
Christ.
a long time. The show had only been running what 14 years when she joined.
She's been in that show longer than my mum's been alive.
Yeah.
Who
I
was
wonder
born in
if.
'76, by the way. Oh Jesus!
Oh fuck.
The one in front of me started braking without any real reason to brake.
Mm.
I had to swerve.
Must be like if you're an actor, is that something you're quite content with? The idea of being in the same thing for such a long period of time, or do you kind of want to try different things?
As an actor, it all depends on whether you value job security or
Well,
expression of yourself.
yeah. I mean, there's a great um, there was a behind the scenes documentary Coronation Street that came out in the 90s. It's on YouTube, and I watched it. And one of the long running characters, or longish running characters, a guy called Kevin Kennedy, who played Curly Watts. He's in it for 20 years. They were doing a little bit on typecasting, and he essentially what he said was that it's something he thinks about, but it's a really difficult world out there for a jobbing actor. You know, and Coronation Street is sort of safe for him. He can stay there for a good old while and make a regular income off it. But you do sort of wonder, you know, There's not a part of you that kind of wants to do other work. The ones who really went somewhere, not the ones who waited around to be killed off or written out. They took the bull by the horn, stayed a few years, and buggered off.
Yeah, that's
You know,
true.
like what's her face? You played Raquel in Happy Valley. Not Sarah Derbyshire. She was matron in the Adipose episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah, I know you mean.
You know
I don't know her name.
Yeah, she went on to big things, and what's her face? Who played one of Steve McDonald's wives? I'm so shit with names.
You're in,
You know,
sometimes.
he's gone on to fairly big TV work. So it's not like it can't launch your career in other places, but I think you've got to know when to get out of something like that, because you run the risk of staying too long, and then it only gets harder. You know, you have to take the risk.
Yeah.
It's always whenever I hear people talk about how Bill Roach has been in Coronation Street since the beginning, and it's like, that's 64 years of your career when you haven't done anything else, really.
And it's quite a taxing job as well, really, in terms of timescales.
Well, yeah, I mean, that thing is a fucking conveyor belt. You're always working, even if you've got a few scenes, you're always working for the next episode and whatever. So, you know, they hard-working people. But you do think, as an actor, isn't part of the appeal like you get to try different things? I mean, let's just see what Bill Roach's IMDb looks like. I can't imagine he's been in too much. He's 92.
92 years old. Crikey. I won't make it to 92, that's for sure.
You might.
I won't. I'll make sure to off myself before I get too infirm.
Alright, Bill Roach IMDb. Right, let's have a look. Okay. The Missing Crown Jewels in 2017. That looks like that was a Saturday Night Takeaway thing. He played himself in Saturday Night Takeaway a number of times. He had some Coronation Street movies. He played Ken Barlow in Wetty Hainthorpe Investigates, which was the Victoria Wood parody of Hetty Wainthorpe Investigates. Let's see, what's this Mickey Love thing where he plays? Yeah. Okay, so it looks like he played himself in a Rick Mayall movie about an aging television quiz show host. And then before that, you've got to go to 1961.
Jesus.
He played field radio operator, brackets uncredited, and Harry in an episode of ITV television Playhouse. And then he had a few more roles, but he has just been in Coronation Street. And you do think, like, are you happy with that? You know, you get to be a household name in a sense. I mean, would you know who William Roach is if you didn't know me?
Probably not.
No, you'd know who Ken Barlow was probably, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he's not the household name, the character is. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's not many soap characters that I know the actor or actress's names.
No. Well, Charlie Brooker talked about this, that there's different, and I can't remember exactly what he did, but he referred to it like a planetary system. You've got your big celestial bodies like Beyonce, and then you've got your much smaller planets. Like the example he uses is Adam Woodyat. Do you know who Adam Woodyat is?
I see. That's a name I know, but no, he's Ian Beale.
Yeah, he's Ian Beale. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of a few, but I know the bloody.
Yeah. Yeah, like most people, or a lot of people, probably wouldn't know his name, but you'd know Ian Beale and you'd know his face.
Yeah. He's got nothing left.
Yeah. The thing about Ken Barlow is sort of the same thing as Gale, to be honest. There's some interesting stuff, but fundamentally the character isn't you know groundbreaking really in a lot of ways. I mean, I could make a video about Ken Barlow, but he's the sort of character that if Coronation Street runs another 100 years, are people going to be talking about Ken Barlow? Is longevity enough?
No, not really.
Maybe. I don't know. I just think it's not the sort of thing like a many actors would be proud of or happy with. Yeah, that's sort of all I have to say on the matter. Really,
Fair enough. I don't have an awful lot to contribute.
it's a long time. It's a long bloody time to be doing one thing.
12 years is a long time to be doing one thing, isn't it?
Yeah. But, I mean, having said that, would they have gotten work if they'd left, 10, 15 years into it?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because that's what we've seen. There are people who have, as you have videoed on.
Few and far between.
It doesn't. Just because you have been a big name does not necessarily mean that you will continue to be a big deal.
No. One of the things about soaps is they do not give a shit. They truck on without you.
Well, they have to, don't they?
Well, yeah. I mean, going back to Kevin Kennedy, he was in it for 20 years. 20 years is a long time.
Mm.
He was in it when he left. He'd been in it for about half the show's runtime.
Crikey.
And it just rolled on as though he never was even there. As it does for all of them, really. It doesn't matter how big you are at the time. Julie Goodyear, she was like top of the fucking game. He was the head hen, and he left, and it just kept going, and it must have been very. I said in the video, it must have been very weird for her.
Mm.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was part of her that didn't seriously think it would stop, but that part of your brain that you don't really, subconscious thinking at all.
It won't be the same without me.
Yeah, like it's still going, and that's surprising in a sense.
Yeah.
That okay.
My leaving didn't really do anything.
Yeah, it's weird. Life goes on.
No, that's something I'm aware of with the job that I have at the moment. It's because obviously I think often and even more frequently lately about leaving, and there's subtle things that are in place purely because I put them in place, right? But no one's going to know that 5-10 years from now.
No.
Realistically,
no.
There's only a handful of people that are there when I was there. So the realistic likelihood is that 5-10 years from now there won't be anyone that's been there when I joined.
Exactly.
And
they won't. It'd be like you were never there.
It will. Even one of the few things that's even named after me is now no longer named after me.
What is it?
It was a tab in a spreadsheet that we used. And it had my initials as part of the name. It was for the JS sense check tab, right? And it was a sense. it was a thing. We were specifically told, look, we need to work out how we can make sense of whether these figures are right or wrong on a weekly basis, and it not be a pain in the ass. So I made a sense test tab, and I just initialed it because it was for me to piss around with and make work. Yeah. And for 3-4 years it was called that, and then about a year after I stopped being in that particular job role, someone renamed it, and it's like, oh, okay. And they don't even do the check anymore. I don't know why they've stopped doing the check, but they don't do the check anymore either.
Well, it does make you think. I was thinking not too long ago. I know who the top people at the place I work are now. I mean, obviously I couldn't tell you who they used to be. I mean, there are people in the college who could. But if you ask them who was before that or before that, would they be able to say?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Some of them might, but it's doubtful. Nothing lasts forever. You are going to be forgotten. Sooner or later, certainly in terms of your job. So don't get too attached. Don't feel you can't move on, or even that you owe the place your unyielding loyalty. You know, you can love your job, but your life is yours, and you've got to put yourself first. So if something else comes up, and you like the look of it, go for it.
Yeah. There won't be much of a legacy left behind if I leave. A load of unscanned documents, and that'll be about it. But yeah, I'll tell you what. My lack of scanning has caused. Last year, when we had the audit, there was a Jordan. You really do need to get on top of your scanning, because we had to pull out 4 or 5 things from my emails instead of things that had been scanned in, because I hadn't scanned them. Right, 4 or 5 things. This year, we are trying to finalise the audit tomorrow. Do you know how many things have been pulled out that needed that I haven't scanned but needed to have been done?
20.
0.
Oh.
Not a single fucking thing that I haven't scanned in has been an issue. So, like, clearly it doesn't really matter, does it? In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter if I scan it or not, because it makes no fucking impact. For one time a year, it actually makes an impact. We need to find a rest stop.
I do, I do think that, now and then I get the thought that if I left my job today, right?
Yeah.
How long would it be before they forgot my surname?
Oh, well, yeah.
They'll remember my first name for a while. Depending on who stays there, they'd come and go. It wouldn't be too long before they forgot that. Certainly, other people I work with would forget my first name, but they'd forget my surname within a few months.
I mean, I have got to the point now where so many people have been and gone that I can't remember them all. And I used to pride myself on the fact that I could remember who they all are, but it's so fucking many now. But again, we're talking 12 years this year, so
nothing lasts forever.
We are living in a state of entropy.
Yeah, we are ships passing each other in the night. That's what life is. Our lives briefly intersect, and it might be joyful, but it's not eternal.
Nope, not like the flame.
What are you doing?
Trying to get into this lane in the middle, because we need to go straight over, not cross. We can't turn that way. The road won't let us.
It literally won't let you just join this lane after you go past the crossing.
Well, I mean, it won't let us turn right. So I switched lane. But we gotta get moving, because we need to get to a rest stop, because we need to rest once. Not twice, once. Actually, whilst we're thinking about audit stuff, very briefly, I got asked to pull something out for the audit today, and I'm like, yeah, fine, I'll do it. But I don't sit about on these jobs. If someone gives me a job to do, I get it done, because the last thing I want is people pestering me to get jobs done, right? I got the email 2 minutes later. Oh, can you do that as a top priority? It's like, I was doing it as a top priority, but then you messaged me, so I had to stop doing the thing that you want me to do as a top priority because you wanted to tell me it was a top priority. Like, this is fucking, let me get on with my job. Let me do my job. I can get my job done better if you let me do it. You know?
You quite a stressful job, don't you?
I honestly, if my home situation was different, that is, if I didn't have to necessarily be present all the time whilst my child is at home. He's not at that age yet where he can really look after himself at home. Is what I'm saying. Then I would have much more seriously considered taking a job at the supermarket just around the corner from me, because they are hiring at the moment. And I feel like if I'm going to make a job change, I would like it to be something where once I leave at night, I don't have to think about it. It's not going to bother me. You know, I need home to be home. Not home to be where I think about work and plan about work, and I'm already thinking about what's going to happen next week at work, because next week we need to push through on our next set of management accounts, but I can't actually do most of what I need to do until Thursday at the earliest, because they're not finishing looking at the last lot of management accounts until Wednesday, they think. So anything that they decide to change, and there will definitely be something, will impact whatever I do work on before they finish doing it. So there's no real point me doing any of it, because if I have to redo it again, I've wasted the time. You know? You can start on it, but you might have to make adjustments. Well, I can't really start on it, can I? Thankfully, I'm working from home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I suppose I'm going to have to... You know...
Well, that'll be something, won't it?
Yeah, maybe I've got other Lego sets. Maybe I can work on one of them. I finished Baldur's Gate right now, so I can't play that unless I do another run through of that. I've not done an Evil playthrough. What is it? 9 hours a day of work. Take off an hour for school runs. It won't actually take an hour, but we'll call it an hour for traffic. So that's 8 hours plus any time in the evenings. I could probably get most of a playthrough done actually if I do an Evil run. Now I know what I'm doing. It was about 50 odd hours of play, 55 hours of play, the way I did it. I could trim that down. It's a good game. I do recommend it if you're into that sort of thing.
My colleague plays a bit of it.
Playing a warlock is easy mode, that's for sure. And I did do the good ending. All of my guys survive and everyone's happy and we saved the world ending. But I got the impression right at the end that actually it would have been quite easy to just take an evil ending at the end. You don't necessarily have to be evil throughout.
Yeah, you see, the thing about those moral choice aspects in game is that it's very rarely implemented well. You know,
yeah.
There's not nearly enough scope. It tends to be very limited, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. Absolutely does.
Yeah.
And I would say that
Pick
in this...
the puppy or hug the puppy. What do you do?
Well, you hug it and then drop kick it. You lure it into a false sense of security, and I would say that's more evil than just kicking it.
Yeah.
But no, I get what you mean. I completely understand what you're saying. There's less... It's more on the nose, isn't it? And less...
Yeah. Yeah. It's not always done well.
No. But again, I mean, I've enjoyed the game, and that's the important thing. And it's been entertaining. It's kept me busy. It's kept me entertained. Oh God, look how tired we are. It was dozing off. Do not press enter. Whatever I do, don't press enter.
Oh God.
We've got 9.5 hours to get there. It's going to take us 3.5, which is probably going to be about 15 to 20 minutes.
See, this whole thing reminds me of being a kid and coming home from like the airport or somewhere late at night and sitting in the back of the car and just sort of kind of dozing off or just staring out the window. I like that.
I always
like
got
that.
travel sick, so I, try to avoid such things. Yeah, we'll get there in no time, and then we can move on to Yu-Gi-Oh. I keep looking up expecting my whiteboard to be there, but I moved my whiteboard.
How come?
Because that's, where the picture that I sent you earlier, my whiteboard used to be there, but there wasn't space for my whiteboard and those, so I moved my whiteboard. I've pinned it to the cupboard door that I've got, like the airing cupboard. It's on there. I say pins, you can get like the sticky back things, contact strips. Put it on there. But it means that if I look up, it's not there anymore. But all my writing plans are on there. So like what days the music stuff needs to be out, and what days the Formula 1 races are on as well. Even though I'm not doing anything with them other than watching them now.
Yeah.
There's Formula 1. Oh, God.
How is the old Formula 1 going?
Well, I mean, there was a race, not this weekend, just gone, the weekend after. Weekend before, sorry. which was fine. There has been some Formula One news.
No.
Do you remember? You don't, I'm sure. But do you remember me telling you about a teammate that crashed into another teammate during the race?
Vaguely. I remember a crash.
There were two big crashes. One of them was much bigger than the other. One was like not that big a deal at all, but it happened. The guy responsible for the smaller crash is no longer going to be with that team after the end of the year. Their contract was up for renewal. It has not been renewed. And it's the reason that's particularly interesting. Apparently the crash had nothing to do with it. But right after the crash there was talk about how there were going to be consequences. And now all of a sudden, after that, he's no longer going to be with them. It would be foolish for anyone to really think that that had nothing to do with it. So, you know, that's a thing. It's not big news, but it's news. It's not that big a surprise either, to be honest with you, but still.
No, I mean, your lot are always having crashes, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's the nature of the crashes. For both of the crashes that happened on that lap were avoidable, because the big one, someone was being stupid and trying a move that they really shouldn't have taken, and the second one, someone was being stupid and trying a move that no one should have taken. Like you don't try and do a ridiculously stupid overtake on your teammate in those sorts of conditions. Because what do you gain really? If you and your teammates swap places, your team don't get anything out of that. And it should always be about the team at the end of the day. If you can't put personal pride aside for the sake of a team, you shouldn't be in the team.
No, that is very true. You know, but I suppose all team sports suffer from an element of that, don't they? Really. I mean, there's always a star player, isn't there?
Yeah, but I mean, when you're in those particular, when you're in the team that they're in, it's neither of you. You know, they're not the big hitters. Getting points is the key thing for them. It doesn't matter how many points, just getting points. They are bottom of the table or next. I think they're ninth in the ninth out of 10 teams. Yeah, every point matters to them. You don't do something stupid that jeopardizes one of your cars in the race. You just don't do it. You don't cause an accident that doesn't need to happen for the sake of a point that was already going to exist for your team.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's just. So I completely understand them getting rid of him. Also, he's French, so you know.
Is the season still going?
What, the Formula One season?
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes on until like November.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, it's 24 races this year, longest season they've ever had. Next one is Canada this weekend, 7 p.m. And I don't need to look at my calendar to see that.
Well, God, you're really on it.
Well, I'd like to know what's going on with the next one when I can. I also know that we're in Belgium on the 28th of July, but only because it came up in conversation yesterday.
It's weird. I never knew that about you.
Not me and Formula One.
Formula One. Yeah.
It's not happening.
You never mentioned it.
Well, you know, it's one of
like
those.
Ages.
I went off it for ages because of the associations it had in my head, but I put it aside for the sake of that job that I applied for and didn't get.
Yeah.
Yeah, shame really. I wonder if I highballed them. I wonder if that was the issue.
I don't think it was, or maybe I don't know. It didn't seem like a proper job to me, but maybe I'm just an old-fashioned type.
Maybe.
You can't wrap their head around this newfangled takeover gears.
Oh, we into that.
You're getting sleepy.
Well, yeah, but I've not been sleeping great. For like the last 5 years. I just don't. I don't sleep. I need a new bed. Isn't helping matters, but beds are expensive. No, mattresses are expensive.
They are. That's why you got to get a good one.
Well, I mean, I've had this one for quite a while, so it's due renewing anyway. It was fine before, and the bed frame needs replacing as well because I've had that a while and it's damaged and it's been repaired and it's been bod repaired and it's still damaged. And, like I need new slats for it, right? So I bought some new slats, but silly me didn't measure how big the slats needed to be, so they came in slightly smaller than they needed to be, which means I can't actually use them in the place of the slats that we've got. So instead, I used them to reinforce the broken slats that were there. So that they're no longer that big a deal, which has been helpful, but it's still not perfect. But, you know, I need the money to justify buying a bed. And if I'm going to buy a bed, I should probably get my partner involved in the bed buying process, because she's going to have to sleep in it as well, right?
Yeah, true that.
And then it's a matter of organising a time when we can both look at beds. And do you just find one online, or do you go to a place? I've not bought a bed before. It's not been something I needed to think about. You know? I don't fucking know.
Well, I'm gonna need to get one.
Ideally, I'd want something that's got posts at the corners.
Oh yeah, well, fancy like.
Well, it doesn't have to be like a proper four-poster bed, but I need some sort of thing to put some rope to.
How much is a 4-poster bed?
Probably very expensive.
Oh, gross.
There you go. You cottoned on.
Yeah, I just picked that up. £299.97
For a four-poster bed.
4-poster bed frame, double in black.
What's it look like?
Not great.
Oh, well then, probably not that
It's
interesting.
very basic looking. If you want one of the fancy ones, you're looking close to 1,000.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't have £1,000 to spend on a bed. I'm never going to have £1,000 to spend on a bed because there'll be something better to spend it on.
Lincoln 4-poster antique French size style bed, size double. £969.99.
Well, like I say,
Maybe I should get one.
what, £1,000
Not
bed.
right away. Well, I'm a fancier boy.
Well, all I know is I'm going to end up either disappointed by it or she will. You know?
4-poster metal bed frame. This actually looks alright.
How much is that one?
4-poster metal bed frame with plush velvet buttoned headboard, grey/double. £249.99. I don't know whether I don't think it comes with the. No, it doesn't. So you put like your cloth sheets over it.
Let's have a look.
Yes, there is a. Hang on. We'll find again now. I wouldn't mind a 4-poster bed actually.
Like I said, I just need something that I can spread eagle on.
You want your kinky bed, don't you?
Ideally, yeah.
Adorable little shit.
There are specific companies that make beds specifically designed for it, but whilst I've got a kid running around, I should probably avoid it, you know?
Why? What do they look like?
Well, I mean, you get some that are very definitely designed for depraved acts, such as ones that have a, just as an example off the top of my head, a stock's at the end of them, or a cage underneath, or you know, all that sort of stuff. But
here's a nice one that's way out of either of our budgets. A Balmoral 4-poster bed.
yeah,
Was 3,362, now 3,110.
Jesus, that is a lot of money.
It's got, oh gosh, that looks lovely. It's absolutely ruddy lovely.
I could probably afford to buy a bed and a mattress now, but it'd have to go on the credit card.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to spend that much money on a bed.
No, I couldn't afford that. But like I've clicked on the link, but I can't see it yet 'cause it's on the wrong screen. You know, I could buy a new bed today if I wanted to, but it's a matter of the process of making sure I pick the right bed. And again, I'm less fussy than she is, you know, and she'll be sleeping in it less than I will, so I probably shouldn't give a fuck what she thinks at the end of the day. But if if I want to get her in it, I should probably make sure she's happy with it. You know.
Yeah.
I need to flip the mattress on mine. There's a big dip right where I lay, and it's a bit. That's a big dip. Just to be clear.
I know,
Oh,
I heard.
oh,
But
look,
it wouldn't
we've...
be the other thing, would it?
No, not if I'm there. We have successfully landed the
Yay.
lorry at Ostrava. So, thank you everyone for joining us. Not that you have, not that you're here, but thank you anyway.
You missed our thrilling bed talk.
I'll put you to bed, that's for sure. Yes, anyway, thank you for joining us. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.